Hello and welcome to Channel 2S, your home for Gunpla news, reviews, and more. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and today we're unboxing the high-grade Iron-Blooded Orphans EO frame Shiden. That's right, guys. Today we're looking at the Shiden. This is the first mass-produced mobile suit to be used by Tekadon, and it makes up the brunt of their forces in the second season. So the front of the box for this guy looks pretty cool. I'm not always a fan of these high-grade Iron-Blooded Orphans boxes and the art that's on them. I've always thought it looked a little too cel-shaded for my taste, but I'm okay with this one. I do like the particle effects they have going on here. Up in the left corner where the two blades are clashing, we can see a nice little shower of sparks coming off of them. That looks very nice. I also like that little trail that this guy's mono eye is leaving as he rushes forward. It's a pretty awesome effect. Down in the bottom corner we also got Hush's face right there. Personally, I wouldn't have chosen Hush to be the face of the Shiden. I would have probably chosen one of the more memorable pilots, but I guess they did build up Hush for a little while before they threw him to the side, so I suppose I could see why they'd choose him for the box. Coming down here to the bottom of the box, we have front and back shots of the completed model, and then an action shot of him charging forward with his Partisan. Apparently this weapon is called a Partisan. I've never heard of a Partisan outside of this context, but apparently it's this big old oar-like smacky weapon that he can whip around and fight with. It's in kind of a bone white color, and it looks pretty neat. I'm also a fan of that little arm gauntlet he has. That should be pretty fun. You can see him right here with his telescoping Partisan stored on his backpack. We got him here again with his riot shield and rifle. I really like how this weapon combination looks. This is most likely how I'm going to display mine. And then finally on the far corner here, we have a little call out for some of the details in the kit. The weapon storage, the thrusters, and of course that not quite moving but kind of replaceable visor that you have on the head. Pretty cool stuff. So around here on the side we just have a more heavily cropped version of the artwork on the front. All we can really learn here is that this is kit number 25 in Season 2, and it is also a 1,200 yen model, so pretty darn cheap. And then along the top we have a cross-sell for option set 6. Now this is an option set that comes with quite a few pieces that can be used with the Shiden. We can see it's got a pretty cool rifle here. I think that's meant for the region lays, but as you can see it works just fine with the Shiden thanks to the generally universal weapon ports that these kits have. We got one here with the bladed bat. And then up here, they're showing off the different faceplates. Of course we got the one-horned faceplate for making Orga's Shiden, or Eugene's Shiden, depending on how you look at it. And then we have another faceplate that's for a variant of the Shiden that we never actually got in the anime. You know, there were actually a lot of weapons and abilities that never got used in the Iron-Blooded Orphans anime. Maybe I'll do a video about them sometime. Now this is an Iron-Blooded Orphans model, which means there's not a lot of parts in the box here. We just got two bags of runners. And then underneath that we have a manual, and the odd thing is that they actually didn't include that little bluefin multilingual building instruction guide thing, even though I got this from the same store that I got all my other kits from. Kinda weird. So when you first open the top bag of this kit, you're met with something that is very pleasant to see, and that is a sticker sheet with only 2 stickers on it. Certainly a refreshing sight in the Iron-Blooded Orphans line. Then you're met with a bone white colored D-runner. It's okay, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of this color. It's got a little bit of green in it. It looks a little weird, but this basically is for like the weapons, the chest, stuff like that. And underneath that, we have the C Runner, and this is colored in kind of the frame color for this kit, which is a... well, it's not actually as purple as it's coming off in the camera, but it is kind of a light lavender color, and I am really not a fan of this. I'm not going to paint it up before the review, but after I review this kit, I am probably going to hit this thing with some gray spray paint just to make it look a little less flowery. So in the second bag, we are met with another runner in that same color, and that is for the major frame parts of this kit. And you know, there's not really much to see here. It's mostly just body parts, and again, it's that same kind of purplish gray. Not that big on it, probably going to paint it. After that, we have the B Runner, it looks like, and I do actually really like the color of this. Again, camera's doing a terrible job picking it up, but this is actually a really dark red, similar to the red that they use for the darker parts on the Char Zaku Origin version. So if you've ever built that kit, this is a very similar looking red, and it looks just as cool here as it did on that model. And then finally we have a small sheet of polycaps. This is the same polycap runner we've gotten with almost every high grade in the last couple years, and The only thing that's really different about this one is that, again, it's in that kind of lavender gray color, and unfortunately, because these are polyethylene plastic, you can't really do much about that. So now we're going to move on to the manual, and at the top of the manual we're met with the exact same artwork we had on the front of the box. Lower down on the cover we have some pretty cool looking line art of the Shiden, as well as Hush himself. We got some little stats down here, and also a quick description of the EO frame Shiden. If you want to pause this and read it, you can go right ahead. And then there's a similar write-up for Hush Wasted Potential MIDI. On the back of the box we have more of those same images we saw in the box, that same little cross-sell for the Iron-Bladed Arms line. Only now we have quick weapon descriptions for all the parts that this guy comes with, so I'm just going to quickly show these all off so you can pause on them if you like. We got the Partisan and the Gauntlet, and then the rifle and the shield, the EO frame, and then the tactics. Down here we got a color guide, you can go ahead and pause that if you want to read it. And the rest of the manual is just boring old build instructions. Yay! So there you have it, guys. That's everything you get in the box for the high-grade Iron-Bladed Orphans Shiden. Obviously there's not a lot of plastic here, but just a little high-grade Iron-Bladed Orphans model, so that should really be expected at this point. I have to say, first impressions of this kit are semi-positive. I am definitely looking forward to building this kit since it's a really cool design and I do like the sculpt on these parts. However, it is a bit disappointing to see that almost all the runners in this kit are in a color that I'm not really a fan of. But hey, that's what paint's for. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, do remember to leave a like, as always, and please do share this video around as it does help this channel grow. If you're new to Channel 2S, make sure you subscribe because I do all sorts of cool Gunpla related stuff. And as always, I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time.